ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। ओम गुंगुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम गं गणपतये नमः। ओम ऐं सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोदिभिः सीदसादनम्। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय गुरवे सच्चिदानन्दमूर्तये निष्प्रपञ्चाय शान्ताय निरालम्बाय तेजसे। ओम यस्यात्मभूतस्य गुरुप्रसादात् अहं विमुक्तोऽस्मि संसारबन्धात् सर्वोपदेष्टुः शिवानन्दमूर्तेः मृदुग्नियुग्मं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यं दयासिन्धुं दीनबन्धुं शास्त्रार्थबोधनपटुं मस्करीन्द्रवरं नौमि श्रीचिदानन्दसद्गुरुम्। ॐ प्राणिनां दुःखहर्तारौ ज्ञानदौ भुवनमुक्तये शिवानन्दचिदानन्दौ आश्रये गुरुसत्तमौ। ॐ नमो नारायणाय 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 ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते रामचन्द्राय ॐ नमो भगवते शिवानन्दाय ॐ नमो भगवते चिदानन्दाय भगवते आनंदाय। Today I will wind up this class, this Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. I will go up to the 8th sutra. Today I will not sum up. So, we have completed the Sadhana Pada and so the Sadhana Pada has been completed. Patanjali takes these last three items, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, into Vibhuti Pada. And ultimately what is Dharana? Deshabandhaha Chittasya Dharana. To fix the mind in some place where we want to. The mind is totally tamed. Whatever you say, it obeys. So, that itself is a siddhi. When you are getting disturbed, you don't want to get disturbed. You try to forget about it. You want to throw it out. But you are not able to do that. You get worried and worried and worried. Okay? But if you have the capacity, no, this is not an item to be worried. Go away. One command, it should go. That is a siddhi. Most of our problems are, we get worried about certain things and you are not happy about it. You are unhappy about it. If you are happy about the worry, what will happen, you see? Have you any time thought about it? Some pain is there. if you like to have it, what will happen? What will happen? Then it is no pain at all. When, there is a word called Tyaga. He sacrificed his comfort. Sacrificed his comfort for some purpose. So to others it will look as painful. But for that person it is a joy. Otherwise he cannot do that. When you willingly invite pain, then it is called a tapasya. You earn money with all difficulties and you do charity. Why do you do that? Why should you earn the money with all difficulty and do some charity? Why should you do that? People suffer for the sake of others. Those who are doing real service, they undergo a lot of pain, but there is no more pain. So there are two aspects. Something is painful. That painful, you don't want to have it. So the mind gets disturbed. Whether it is joy or it is painful, it makes no difference if the mind accepts it. If it is a pain, and if you accept it, what will happen? Then it is no more pain. So when you are undergoing a pain, when your mind gets disturbed, you are neither able to accept it with joy, nor you are able to reject it totally. You are in a miserable condition. Is it okay? We have lived so many years, 50 years, 60 years, still we have not understood this mechanics of life. There are people who invite pain. Kunti says in the Bhagavad that let there be calamities in my life. Vipatas santu nashashvat tatra tatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yatsyat apunarbhava darshanam vipataha santu nashashvat. Shashvat means shashvata. Let there be continuous flow of calamities in my life. She makes a prayer like that. Whenever that calamity comes, my mind dwells on you. So you take it as a devotion. It's not that devotion alone. The structure of the mind is such that it doesn't bother about the worries. It is not worried. There are pain, but the mind is not disturbed. The mind accepts that and enjoys that. So here, Deshabandhaha Chittasya Dharana. He says that wherever you want to fix the mind, you will be able to fix it. If that is disturbing you, no, you cannot disturb me. I will not entertain that thought. If the mind doesn't entertain that thought, you call me a bloody fool. If I am deaf, I am not worried. I will smile at you. Yes. Like that. These mad fellows, you tell them something, they will be smiling. Whatever you say, they will be smiling. Because they are deaf. So the mind has not received what you have told. But if you are able to understand what he says, and then if you accept it also, yes, I am like that. If you say, then he starts worrying. What to do, he doesn't know. But you are not worried. Yes, I am exactly. You said little more than that. If you say him, then he will say, what is this? What to do with this fellow? So the mind is whether how we react to the situation. The mind doesn't want it. All right, you don't get worried about it. You be here. You be happy here. If you do that, then it is called dharana. Then he says, tatra pratyaya ekatanata dhyanam. Tatra pratyaya ekatanata dhyanam. What is dhyana? Dhyana is there in that condition, when you are able to fix the mind in somewhere, and if the mind is continuously engaged in that, the tendency of the mind is immediately go to the opposite. The oscillation, the doubting element, the doubting Thomas. The mind always immediately goes to the opposite. That is actually disturbing this way or this way, to be or not to be. If that is not there, if the mind holds on to something alone, and it remains continuously on that, then it is dhyana. When the mind is continuously dwelling on one subject, one object, continuously without moving away from that, that is dhyana. Even to do a work, to do a painting, to write something, to do a surgery, to write a program in the computer, the mind should dwell on a particular thing continuously. There should not be any distraction. So whatever you should do should be a meditation. Whatever I do should be meditation. It doesn't matter whether you dwell on God or something. No such thing is there. The mind should continuously get engaged. Its natural tendency to move away, to get bored on something and to move away there and to come here, like the monkey looking here and there, if that is stopped, and if mind continuously dwell on that, then it is dhyana. Continuously on that. The work you do will be perfect, and you will achieve it much faster than others. There is no distraction, total concentration. You should not be aware of anything else. The mind is dwelling on that. I think I have told you a story about a Japanese monk, that Milarepa they say. One of the saints, anybody, don't worry about who is the person. He was sitting inside, and his servant boy, small boy, saw some people, dacoits, they are making sound and coming. He said, "Hey, shh, my master is sitting inside." Then they got annoyed. "What is this, your master?" Then they entered in. They have got all guns. This man was sitting. Then Japanese eat food with 2 sticks, small sticks. That 2 sticks he was holding like that. And there was some flies, mosquitoes. He does like that. So even if you do like that, the fly will go away with your hand alone only. You will not be able to do that. This man is doing like that, undisturbed by these fellows coming with guns, machine guns. They saw this. They got frightened. They were afraid. What type of man this? What a concentration he has got. So it is a meditation actually. Whether you catch a fly or you catch God, it makes no difference. You should know how to catch it. Don't make emotional thing. Don't make a myth of philosophy. Is not myth, it is living. How do you live? What is your life? So, tatra pratyaya ekatanada, that continuous flow, tailadharavat, as you flow the oil, it flows unbroken. There is a steady, unbroken flow of the same thought, same idea in the mind. No variation, no distraction. That is dhyana. And then he says, Tadeva arthamatra nirbhasam swarupa shunyamiva samadhi. Tadeva arthamatra nirbhasam swarupa shunyaiva samadhi. Tadeva means the very same dhyana, it's continuous flow of thought. In that, arthamatra, artha means object, that object alone remains in your mind. Whatever you are doing, that alone is there. You have forgotten swarupa shunyam. You have forgotten yourself. You have totally identified with that object, and that alone remains. That is called samadhi. There are certain art forms in India, dance forms, the traditional dance form, not this. Most of them are done by men. The Kathakali, and then Kudiyattam, Yachakana, Bhailata, the Kuchipudi dances of Andhra. Most of these things are done by men, not by women. Women have taken up later. These dance forms are one type of meditation. I have seen people in their green rooms, the very top artists in their green rooms. Once a person in the Yachagana of Karnataka, any Karnataka person is here. Then it's an exchange program between governments, and I was one of the coordinators. I used to go into the green room. I suddenly went into a green room. I saw a lady standing with the skirt alone. I just got frightened. And that skirt was also torn. And then, oh, what is this? I was about to turn back and go. Then that person turned and smiled at me. Come here, he said. He was a man. It was not a lady. It was a man. And even his movements were like ladies. The way in which he looked. Then I asked him, oh, you are a man? Yes, yes. So the identification is such that we will never know whether it is a man or a woman. Similarly, there was one Kathakali artist, and he was also, I know that he is a man, but the eye movements, especially that amorous moods, when they enact amorous moods, the movements of the eye, the movements of the body. And then he asked me also, he asked me exactly that, how was my Sringara Abhinaya? Sringara means this. You don't understand what is meant by Sringara, the amorous moods. Then he said, how was my Sringara Abhinaya? I said, oh, so beautiful, I fell in love. I told her. Then, another occasion, people take up the costume of Duryodhana, Putana, Sri Krishna, like that. And once they are dressed up and then headwears are given, then their movement is also like that. The character, whichever character they take, accordingly they move. If one fellow takes up the costume of a king, he should walk like a king. He should not walk like a beggar. A warrior should walk like a warrior. If an old man is given, then he walks like this, means warrior walks like this, means what happens? So there is a total identification. Whichever you enact, so there is the identify with the character. And then the movement, the eyes movement, the way in which they look. A king should look like a king and not like a beggar. So it is all meditation actually. To what extent? One lady will be coming in another 3-4 days. She is coming from Australia. They are to enact a drama on Swami Shivananda. the person who is choreographing, that she wrote to me a beautiful letter. Swamiji, before I do the choreography, I should imbibe those ideas. I should be emotionally charged with that character. Then only I can put it. Very true. The person who writes the play, the playwriter, one who enacts, they should identify with the character. I come here to teach you something. So I should identify myself with the role of a teacher. And then I should understand your psychology. I should look at you. Suppose if you are doing wrong thing, hey, what is that you are doing? And if you have got doubt, then there should be compassion in the eyes. So we are all enacting something here. To what extent you are identified with your real person in your day-to-day life. It is a meditation. The work you do is a meditation. In the Bhakti Stotras, they say, Yadyat karma karobi tattadagilam shambho tavaradhanam. Whatever I do, it is all thy worship. It is not devotion, it is philosophy. Whatever I do is a worship. Now, what I speak to you is my worship to that Supreme Lord. If I scold you, that is also my worship. So, that dhyana is you are no more your real person, this person. You are no more this body, this person. You have identified with the object on which you are dwelling. The total identification with the object of your meditation. So that is dhyana. And then he says, Trayam ekatra samyamaha. Trayam ekatra samyamaha. Samyamaha means well controlled or well absorbed. Well absorbed. Yama, samyama. Initially we start yama, niyama, asana, pranama. Yama means it has become part and parcel of your personality. So samyama means well controlled, well achieved, accomplished, well accomplished. These three, dharana, dhyana and samadhi, they are not three different things. They are one thing only. They are one thing only. Holding on something, the mind dwelling on something. The mind, let us behold thee, Gurudev says. Beholding that supreme reality, God or whatever it is. That is dharana. Continuously dwelling on that is dhyana. And identifying with that. And losing your personality into that is samadhi. These three are one only. Trayam means these three are one package, three in one only. And it indicates that you have accomplished it. Then he says, Tajjayat prajna alokaha. Tajjayat prajna alokaha. Tajjayat means if you get victory over this, meaning having achieved it fully, when you get established in this dharana, dhyana and samadhi, when you get established, knowledge dawns. Prajna alokaha. Knowledge dawns. These are all not to be intellectually understood. This has to be lived. It is not something to be taken down in notes and looked into and spoken. We are not trying to hold a seminar here. It is not an intellectual exercise. That is one of the reasons I told in the beginning. I don't want anybody to take notes. And I told you that I will write all these things in your mind. If I have achieved it, I have done my duty. If I have not achieved it, I have failed miserably. Now I ask you the questions, whether I was able to write these things in your mind or not. Tell me why I told you not to write all these notes. I don't want you to write notes and refer to that. I am not giving a professorial explanation of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. I don't talk like a professor. They have said like this, he has said like this, he has said like this. No. What I say, what you have to understand, it is not their opinion I omit. It is my opinion about it. What I felt about it, what is my experience on that. And I give you that experience. When I speak about my experience, when I give expressions to my experience, I pass on that experience to you. Okay? So here he says, tasya prajna alokaha, that prajna, that knowledge. Tasya bhumishu vinyogaha. Tasya bhumishu vinyogaha. That knowledge is placed at different levels, he says. As we have in our college and schools, in our education system, we have got first standard, second and third standard, undergraduate, graduate, postgraduate, doctoral level. Like that, there are levels, he says. What are those levels? He doesn't say. Patanjali does not speak about it, but in the Yoga Vasishta and other places, they say, the first is Shubhecha, according to Yoga Vasishta and other things. Shubhecha. Shubha means what? Something good, auspicious. Ichha means desire. When there is a desire for good things in mind, so people have desire for good things. People have desire to do wrong things also. To deprive you of something is also there. When you are suffering, to help you and to make you happy, make you comfortable. Both desires are there. There are people who deprive you something, make you unhappy. There are people who make you happy. What made them to do that way? Why someone is creating problem to us? Why someone is causing, disturbing others? Why someone is helping others? Have you thought about it? And have you introspect and find out what is there in you? Why some people wants to help others in spite of getting no reward? The other day I mentioned we have a Shivananda home here. Destitutes are there. Some are very sick. Some are mentally retarded. Earlier I used to take all the students there, but now I don't have time. Once a boy, maybe of 25, 26 years, little mentally retarded. And our students collected, that was a mango season. I told them, whatever you want to give, you collect it and wash it, make it neat. Don't think that we are giving to a beggar. Everything should be neat and clean. You should buy the best. So they brought the best fruits and we carried it there. So they started distributing. Then there is one lady there. She is looking after. She came, Swamiji, kindly hand over it to me. I will distribute later on. Some should not be given. Some are diabetic. Okay, I will give it to you. Then one boy, this 25-year boy, he came. We have already given to him. he was eating, is chronic diabetic. Then she told, "Beta, nay." She was taking out from him. And he started crying. And then she was feeding him little. And she gives into his mouth. At 25, a boy like you, he is feeding with so much love. How many of you can do like that? Sometimes when I go, some guests will say that someday I am also coming. Okay, please come. They will also buy some chocolates. And when they see the people with maggots and lepers, they will throw like this. Whatever they want to give, they throw. Then I get irritated. Hey, don't do that. If you cannot do that, if you cannot give them with love, get away from here. Why don't you touch him? Why don't you hug him? How many of you can do that? How many have real sympathy in your heart? Many cannot do that. Many cannot think of doing good to others. So, when there is a tendency comes in the mind, I should do good to others. I should not do any damage. That is the first sign of prajna alokaha, shubhecha. Shubhecha means ichha for the shubha, desire for good things, desire to lead a good life. Be good, you say, Gurudev. That desire, a natural desire, not something learned from the book or something emotionally charged at one time. Whether you are basically becoming good, that is Shubhecha. Then you contemplate whether I am doing things right or wrong. Vicharana. Then it is called Tanumanasi. No, these are not. Tanumanasi. Tanu means Tanu Shoshane, Tanu Vistare. Sanskrit word Tanu has got two meanings. To expand, to reduce it to zero. Both ways it is correct. Mind has expanded to include everything here. To include you into me. Or my mind is reduced not to entertain any wrong notions. Anything wrong, anything which is not good to others. So these are the certain Shubhecha, Vicharana, Tanumanasi, then Sattvapatti, then mind getting established in that. Asamsakti, then no attachment to anything. Then understanding things as they are. And then the final emancipation. So these are something. So to begin with, the sign of your becoming spiritual, the sign of your becoming religious, pious, is the sign of the goodness. To what extent the mind is entertaining good thoughts. To what extent you want to do good to others. Nobody can find out. You yourself will not know. You yourself will not know that you are a bad person. If somebody knows that I am a bad person, he will correct it. He will not know that. It is a grace. Initial practice of yama, ahimsa, satya, etc., you have to enforce on that. Enforce on your mind not to do this. Then habits die hard, it becomes natural. If you are sitting on continuously on Siddhasana and Virasana, you will have mastery over asana. Likewise, you have to practice good things. And then you get a mastery over that, then it becomes natural. Why you are good? I cannot be otherwise. I cannot be otherwise. So you are naturally good. So that is Bhumishu Vinyogaha. Then he says, Trayam Antarangam Purvebhyaha. Trayam Antarangam Purvebhyaha. These three, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, these are Antaranga sadhana, internal sadhanas. Holding on something in the mind, meditating on that, and getting into Samadhi. These are not external sadhana like Ahimsa, Satya, etc. These are internal sadhanas, Antaranga sadhana. All the other five, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara. Pranayama is an external sadhana. These three are internal sadhana. Trayam, Antarangam, Purvebhyaha. Compared to the earlier five, these three are internal sadhanas. Okay? But Patanjali says, Tadabi Behirangam Nirbijasya. Tadabi Behirangam Nirbijasya. But if it is this dharana has set in, if dhyana has set in, if samadhi has set in, all the eight are external. You are naturally that. Initially he says these three are internal sadhanas and the other five are external sadhanas. Ultimately all are external sadhanas only. Because your samadhi has become natural. All the time you are in samadhi. Whatever you are doing, it will go on. But you are with yourself. Sahaja samadhi they call it as. In the Gita it is called Sthita Prajna. Prajna has become stable, Sthita Prajna. Sthita Prajnasya Kabhasha. So what is the sign of a saintly person? He is not saint while meditating. Afterwards when he is doing an activity, he is not a non-saint. He is saint all the time. 24 hours. So this is, all things are external sadhanas. You have become that. So with this, I conclude so that my classes are over. What are the 8 angas? Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. How it will benefit you, the practice of this, how it will benefit you in your day-to-day life. You don't find it in any book. How it will benefit you. In your daily life, what benefit you will get. By studying this Patanjali Sutra, by observing these 8 angas, how it help you to have a better life here, and how it will help you in your spiritual practice, life. Hari Om Tat Sat.